This training is over the wood element. The wood element is part of the 5 elements of balancing your organs in your body. The wood element corresponds to 2 main organ systems, your liver and your gallbladder. Really briefly, there's a difference between an organ and an organ system. The organ, when you see it in an anatomy and physiology book, when you study in college, it only talks about the organ. And that's what Western medicine is only focused on the liver organ and gallbladder organ. But in traditional Chinese medicine, they classify that as a system, the liver organ system, gallbladder organ system. So what's the difference? An organ system includes the organ itself, but it also includes all of the blood vessels, the nerves, the lymphatics, the drainage, the interstitial fluid, everything related to the organ system, not just the organ itself. Now, some of you may be thinking, oh, I had my gallbladder removed because I had gallbladder stones. And so they surgically removed it. But you still have your gallbladder organ system. You still have all the nerves that were once connected to your gallbladder. You have all the blood vessels. You have all of the lymphatic vessels, also the interstitial network, fascia network. All of that you still have because they don't remove that when you have gallbladder surgery. They only remove the gallbladder organ. So we're talking about organ systems in this training, not just the organs. You have to differentiate that because what you're going to start seeing is, oh, I'm going to list in traditional Chinese medicine, the liver organ system has so many more functions than what Western medicine has found with just the liver organ. So I don't want you to get confused, but I want you to know there is a huge difference between Western medicine when they talk about liver and traditional Chinese TCM when they talk about liver or the liver organ system, right? So let's dive into the guidebook. So if you don't have this guidebook, comment guidebook and my team will send you a link to get free access for this guidebook. We're talking about the wood element today. The wood element relates to your liver and gallbladder. So what happens when your wood element is balanced? What will you feel? Well, you'll feel inspired, creative, emotionally free. You'll have clear vision, strong decision making, healthy digestion, and detoxification. You'll be motivated and steady forward movement. When your wood element is imbalanced, you're going to get irritable. You're going to get frustrated, easily angered. You're going to get stuck. If you feel you're overwhelmed all the time, it could mean that your wood element is imbalanced. You feel like you have lack of direction in your life, tension in your body, especially the sides of your body, digestive issues, bloating, indecisive, or resistance to change. This all relates to your wood element. In TCM, traditional Chinese medicine, they found that every organ, when it functions, when it's balanced, and when it's imbalanced, it is tied to an emotion. If your wood element is imbalanced, you're going to sense a lot of anger, irritability. But if wood element is balanced, you're going to sense a lot of hope. And every organ system controls specific senses, right? And so for the liver, the sense is eyes. So if you have eye problems, chances are your liver is affected. Your liver may not be the root cause, but it definitely is affected because the liver in traditional Chinese medicine, TCM, controls your eyes and your vision. And it's related to the sour taste. If you have vomited in an empty stomach, right, you will have this bitter, sour taste. The bitter could be from the stomach acid, but the sourness is from bile. You may be vomiting bile, which is produced in the liver and stored in the gallbladder. The liver and your gallbladder also controls your tendons and ligaments. So tendonitis anywhere in your body, any type of tendon problem, meniscus problem, right? Maybe in your knee, you have the ACL tear, PCL or MCL, right? Crucial ligament, they are all controlled by your liver. So if your liver is not balanced, you are going to have tendon problems. You're going to get tendonitis and ligament problems very easily. What does the liver organ system or the wood element system, what is its actual function, right? Because traditional Chinese medicine is a physical medicine. It's not a woo-woo medicine. They just use different terminologies. Let me give you an example. I speak Mandarin and obviously I'm speaking English, right? So if you don't speak Mandarin and you hear somebody speak Mandarin, what does it sound like? It sounds like it's a foreign language, right? You don't understand it. Now, just because you don't understand Mandarin, does that make Mandarin a illegitimate language? Just because you don't understand it, does that qualify now as not a language? I hope you get my point, right? So traditional Chinese medicine 3,000 years ago, they just used a completely different language than what we use today to describe health and medicine. Inaccurate. It doesn't make it false. It doesn't make it woo-woo. It doesn't make it esoteric. It's not. It's the same medicine. Our health is exactly the same. But from the Western medicine point of view, the liver detoxifies the blood, metabolizes nutrients, stores minerals and vitamins, produces bile, it supports your hormone balance. That's why when women have hormonal imbalance and when they get pregnant, they have menstrual irregularities, we actually focus on the liver, right? But in Western medicine, they only focus on ovaries, uterus, pituitary gland, adrenal glands, right? The gallbladder stores and concentrates bile, which breaks down fat and supports healthy digestion, right? So when you remove your gallbladder, you are removing a part, an organ that God created for you to help you digest your food, to break down fats, and to support your healthy digestion. When you remove your gallbladder, your digestion will forever have issues. Now, of course, I know many people are going to start commenting, I've had my gallbladder removed and my digestion is perfectly fine. Great. That's great. Your digestion is great or perfectly fine compared to what? Was it compared to what before? Because when you had your gallbladder and it was functioning, when you were a kid, your digestion was performing a whole lot better than what it is now without the gallbladder. Science can prove that. I'm not saying don't remove your gallbladder. If you have gallstones, that could be becoming a life emergency situation. You need to remove it, okay? Because the gallstones could flow down your bile duct and go up your pancreatic duct, and it could block your pancreas. That creates an acute pancreatitis, which is life-threatening. So this is when I was doing some walks with a gastroenterologist. I asked him that question, why do y'all just take out people's gallbladder? Well, he said it was because of that emergency situation, right? So I was like, oh, I have more information. That makes sense. I'm not anti-Western medicine, okay? I'm not anti-surgery. Western medicine has its place. My sister, my brother-in-law are all Western medicine physicians. Two of my best friends are Western medicine physicians. I love Western medicine. I just don't love it for chronic degenerative disorders. So what happens when your wood element over-function, to get inflamed or overactive? Well, you're going to get very irritable, frustrated, easily angered, stuck, overwhelmed, tension in the body, digestive issues, right? What happens when your liver hypofunctions? You're going to have fatigue, low energy, all right, muscle tightness and stiffness. I didn't list every single thing in this dashboard, but you can also have hormonal problems. Like I said, irregular menstrual cycle, right? If your wood element is inflamed and overactive or weak and deficient, both can cause menstrual problems for women, PCOS, infertility. So every organ has a peak energy time. So 3,000 years ago, TCM practitioners, they observed that the body moves resources to different organ systems at different times of the day. Now, it doesn't mean it stops giving resources to the rest of the body. No, that's not what I'm talking about. It just moves a little more troops or ambulances or fire trucks or doctors to a certain organ system at a specific time. And when it does that, that means that's when that organ has what we call peak energy time, right? So for the liver, the peak energy time is between 1 to 3 a.m. in the morning. That's when the liver is the best at detoxifying your body. And if you disrupt that time, you will prevent your liver from detoxifying your body. So for those of y'all who are night owls, it's not normal. Your body was not made to stay up late. I know many people are going to argue with me, and that's okay. I'm just presenting the data. This is information from 3,000 years ago, and it's also data from what I've observed treating over 6,000 patients. And so during this time, the liver is detoxifying and rejuvenating the body and mind between 1 to 3 a.m., right? So if you don't go to bed till 2 a.m., you're screwing up your liver function. I can tell you that. Our bodies were built to go to sleep 9 to 11 p.m. These times, they also signify, can tell us which organs are dysfunctioning. So for example, if you have insomnia and you tend to wake up between 1 to 3 a.m., chances are your liver is imbalanced. So you can use that as an assessment tool. It's like you have a problem staying asleep, identify when do you wake up? What time frame? If you tend to wake up always consistently between 1 to 3 a.m., you definitely have a liver imbalance. The gallbladder time is right before the liver, which is 11 to 1 a.m. During this time, the gallbladder releases bile for deep digestion and renewal. So again, if you're not sleeping, none of this is happening effectively. Again, if that's why I said between 9 to 11, right? You should be digesting. That's what the parasympathetic nervous system does. Rest and digest. You have to be resting in order to digest effectively. I'm going to go over another training that addresses the body clock. This is very important. My team in my clinic, they look at this. You're probably wondering, how do I rebalance my liver and gallbladder? If I am waking up between 11 to 3 a.m., how do I rebalance it? Okay. Well, there's certain things you can do. One is you can do acupressure. And so here are the top 3 acupressure points that you have to do this every single day, right before you go to sleep or throughout the day. It doesn't matter. Some people are like, oh, okay, how many times do I do it? You need to do it at minimum once a day. Can you do it 3 times a day? Absolutely. Can you do it 10 times a day? Absolutely. Can you do it 100 times a day? Absolutely. The more you do it, the better, because you're sending more stimulus to your brain to tell your brain, hey, let's rebalance my liver and gallbladder function. So liver 3, okay, gallbladder 34. I've listed the indications, how it benefits you. Okay, this is how to locate it. At the end of this guidebook, I have links to videos of me demonstrating how to locate it. But I'll just go over this first one. Liver 3, great rushing point. Tai Chong. This is a very famous point, a very commonly used acupressure point. Okay, it's for irritability, anger, headaches. Okay, vertex headaches, headaches at the top of your head. PMS, you see, balancing, right? Eye strain, you got eye problems, you want to do it here, right? These are the acupressure points. Next, these are lifestyle modifications. So besides acupressure, what else can you do in your daily lifestyle habits? Can you change so that your body can naturally rebalance your liver and your gallbladder organ system function? So here's some daily habits. Wake up at the same time each day. In the beginning, you may need to use an alarm clock, but once your body heals itself, you won't need an alarm clock. So like, for example, my body, when I haven't done anything to mess it up, I haven't stayed up late or ate something that I shouldn't have eaten, if I'm just living my normal routine life, my body wakes me up at 5:30 every morning. I don't use alarm clock. I haven't used an alarm clock for over a year. Eat 3 balanced meals, sit down, take time into nature, okay? Movement, walk in nature. Yes, you can walk on a treadmill, but it's completely different. Nature, you're absorbing not just the sun, you're breathing in oxygen, you're actually other gases. You're almost like grounding yourself. Stretching. Remember, liver controls your tendons and ligaments. Super important for you to stretch. Yoga, perfect. Food and nutrition, we're going to go over that. Your mind and emotions. Remember, your liver regulates your emotions, right? So you have to work on controlling your emotions. Journaling is a great thing. Environment, keep your space clean, organized, and clutter. I'm not going to go through all of these because you can read through these yourself, but these are practical tips that we teach. I'm not treating patients anymore. I help patients now just remotely. But when I was treating patients in my clinic, these are the things that we tell our patients. So my team who runs my clinic for me right now, they teach all of these things that we're giving to you for free. Okay. So highly recommend you execute them. And these are foods. I've given you food lists. Now, are these a comprehensive list? No, they're not. There's so many foods, especially in Asia, that you may not have access if you're here in the US or you're in Europe or in Canada, right? But these are the foods. Okay. You can go through this food list of all the foods that will help you restore your liver and gallbladder function. I want to focus on this specific category. They are the cruciferous vegetables. They're like the antioxidant, the superfoods, not just for the liver and gallbladder, superfoods for the whole body. And then, of course, I've got some recipes for you that you can using these foods up here. All right. So go through this, identify as you read through this, and you're like, oh man, this sounds just like me. Execute these daily lifestyle changes. Okay. Execute these acupressure points, execute the food, right? And it will start day by day. It will start rebalancing your liver and gallbladder system. No, it's not going to happen overnight. It may not even happen over a week. It may not even happen over a month. It may take 6 months to a year. I would give yourself at least 3 to 6 months to say, hey, am I making improvement, right? If you had a terrible diet and you had a terrible lifestyle, in the first month, you will see drastic improvements. But let's say you've already been living a healthy lifestyle, it may take you 3 to 6 months to actually notice significant improvements, not mild improvements. You should notice mild improvements after a couple of weeks, but significant improvements after 3 to 6 months of implementing these strategies. Again, these are the strategies my team currently in our clinic, they educate and inform our patients to execute these strategies. When I was treating patients in the clinic, I was doing the same thing. Now, when I consult people online virtually, I tell them these same things as well. So this is about the wood element, liver, gallbladder. Again, if you don't have this guidebook, comment below guidebook and my team will send you a link to get free access to this guidebook.